This is Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com, and this is my Kentucky Derby 2017 prep race for Saturday, April 8th, 2017. This week we're going to look at the 10th race from Aqueduct. It's going to be the Grade 2 Wood Memorial for 3-year-olds, and they're going to be traveling 9 furlongs on the main track. And we have an 8-horse field, and your morning line favorite is number 3, Battalion Runner. He's the one to beat, and he's going to be my top choice in here. He's trained by Todd Pletcher. Todd Pletcher has been winning all of the Kentucky Derby prep races from around the country. He's been spotting his horses perfectly. A Battalion Runner has 3 lifetime starts. He finished 2nd in his career debut in a sprint race. They laid him off. They brought him back in a 7-furlong maiden race at Gulfstream Park. He ran away with that race, and then the runner-up in that one came back and won his next start. So then he made his first start against winners at 1 1/16 in an optional claiming race at Gulfstream Park. Last time out, he tracked the pace, and it was a professional, workman-like effort, and he was able to grind it out and get the job done by a bit more than a length. So that was a solid effort in his first start against winners, his first start around 2 turns. Now he's ready for the stakes ranks. Todd Pletcher's been looking for a spot for him. He actually entered him in the Florida Derby, considered that spot, but he also had Always Dreaming in that race. And Always Dreaming ended up running away and winning the Florida Derby nicely. Battalion Runner had drawn post 9 for the Florida Derby, but they ended up scratching, looking for another spot. They considered the Santa Anita Derby, they considered the Arkansas Derby, but they ended up in the Bluegrass State, in the Memorial, and I think this is a good spot for him. He's going to end up tracking the pace in here, and most likely, and I think he's going to get the job done. The pace should be honest, but he's got early pressing versatility and an inner post. He's got a lot of upside with only 3 starts. They paid a lot for this one, more than $700,000. So look for him to run a good race, get enough Derby points, and be yet another Derby contender for trainer Todd Pletcher. My second choice is going to be the 8 Irish War Cry for trainer Graham Motion. Now he looked really good winning the Holy Bull Stakes at Gulfstream Park earlier this year. And in that race he was able to get out there and control the pace, and he just kept on going in a nice effort. But then in the Fountain of Youth Stakes, when he wasn't able to get out there and control the pace, he retreated and he did not run a good race. He's worked 2 times since then. He went back to his Fair Hill base in Maryland for trainer Graham Motion, and he had a good work for this leading up to this start. He's drawn a good post on the outside. He has a new rider, Rajiv Mirage, and I think that he's going to probably try to stalk the pace on the outside. They'd like to get him to relax a bit. If he's going to get that 10 furlong distance in the Derby, need him to relax a bit early and then finish decently. So if he can bounce back in this spot, and he certainly can if he runs back to his Holy Bull. Now, Cloud Computing looks like an interesting lightly raced contender for trainer Chad Brown. He's 5-2 morning line. Both of his starts were on the inner dirt at Aqueduct. He ran away with his maiden victory there in a sprint. Then they threw him into the Gotham Stakes. He tracked the pace, and he was clearly second best behind J. Boy's Echo. And that race earned a strong speed figure. But a lot of times those inner dirt at Aqueduct speed figures don't translate when they're not running on that inner dirt. We'll have to see if he's able to do it in this spot. He's certainly lightly raced. He has some upside, but he might be overbet in this race. I'm more inclined to take the Florida shippers. I think that the horses in Florida have been facing better competition. And I think overall the horses in Florida might have an edge on the rest of the horses on that Kentucky Derby trail this year. Another horse worth considering, Motown. This one's going to take some money. He won the Remsen Stakes as a 2-year-old at this course and distance. But the problem is that Remsen Stakes has turned out to be a negative prep. It did earn a good speed figure, but then all the horses that have run in the Remsen came back, and in their next starts they all disappointed, including Motown at the fairgrounds last time out. So now he's going to make his second start as a 3-year-old. We'll have to see how he ends up faring in here. Might take a bit more money than he should. I'm going to try to beat him in here. As I said, I like the Florida shippers the best. And here's how I suggest playing this race. We're going to make a win wager on number 3, Battalion Runner. We're going to play an exacta. We're going to put Battalion Runner on top of Cloud Computing and Irish War Cry. And then a little saver exacta. We'll put Cloud Computing, Irish War Cry on top of Battalion Runner. Now if you're interested in my other 2 videos this week for the Kentucky Derby preps from around the country, you can see my Santa Anita Derby analysis video at todaysracingdigest.com, and then you can see my Bluegrass Stakes video for horseracing.nation.com. So those are the other 2 big races this week, and I did not go with the favorites in that one. Typically I look for price horses, but I really think Battalion Runner is tough in here. But in those other 2 races, I'm shopping for value, and especially in that Santa Anita Derby, it does seem like a wide open race, and you can see that video again at todaysracingdigest.com. runawayhorse.com. If you're interested in my full card analysis, go over to the runawayhorse.com. Click on our sales page. I sell full cards each day Santa Anita Park runs, plus bonus races from around the country at the runawayhorse.com. Also coming up, the first Saturday in May for Kentucky Derby, full card from Churchill Downs, my annual Kentucky Derby Day full card from Churchill Downs, will be available Kentucky Derby week at the runawayhorse.com. That'll wrap up this video. This will do it for the Derby preps. Next week I'm going to do the Arkansas Derby for today's racingdigest.com, and then we're going to start to look at some of these Kentucky Derby contenders in some of these videos leading up to the first Saturday in May. And until then, good luck at the races.